Welcome to the 2026 KREMC Annual Meeting broadcast. I'm Tim Landrigan, President and CEO of Kosciusko REMC and Kosciusko Connect. At KREMC, our focus is simple: provide reliable, affordable power and keep your lights on. Everything you'll see today connects back to that goal. And speaking of lights, anytime you see this one, it marks an important fact that you'll want to remember for the quiz afterward. Answer all the questions correctly, and you'll be entered to win one of the several prizes, including a $100 bill credit, $50 Amazon gift card, $25 Marathon gift card, or a $10 Starbucks gift card. Quiz entries will be accepted through 5 p.m. on June 11th. Winners will be announced on social media June 12th and contacted directly. Let's get started. Every day, our goal is to keep your costs low while delivering dependable service, and 2025 was another strong year. Our members continue to pay the lowest electric rates of any cooperative in Indiana. In fact, the average KREMC member's bill is about 3 times lower than nearby investor-owned utilities. That difference adds up and it stays in your pocket. Over the past decade, electric rates across Indiana steadily increased. During that same time, KREMC's stayed nearly flat. That kind of stability doesn't just happen, it comes from careful planning and commitment to keeping your electricity affordable. As a nonprofit, the money we bring in goes right back into serving you. Some of that goes into improving our system, and some of that goes back directly to you. Last year, we returned over $1 million in capital credits to our members. One of the biggest ways we reinvest is through system reliability. Here's a look at the work that's happening behind the scenes.
Each year, we invest in the infrastructure that keeps our power reliable. In 2025, our crews upgraded 21 miles of line, replaced more than 800 poles, and added 138 new meters, bringing our total active meters to 18,880. Those investments help maintain a reliability rate of 99.95%. To support continued growth, we also expanded our operations team with 3 new ground equipment operators. Much of this work is guided by a 4-year work plan. This plan allows us to move beyond day-to-day repairs and take a more strategic approach to strengthening our system that focuses on 3 priorities. First, improving reliability by proactively replacing aging equipment before it fails, reducing outages for our members. Second, controlling costs by planning projects years in advance, allowing us to schedule crews effectively and purchase materials more strategically. And third, preparing for the future by upgrading our system to support continued growth across our service area. This approach helps us build a more resilient, safe, and cost-effective system. Tree trimming is another critical part of reliability. This year, we partnered with Mint City Utility Services to complete a comprehensive trimming study, helping guide how we maintain clear, safe lines for our members. Dylan from Mint City is here with me to share what the study showed and why it matters. How does Mint City work with KREMC to keep power lines clear and reliable?
So we'll look at a section of line that you guys have identified to be thick or need an immediate attention, and we will go through and we'll trim on that section of line throughout the year, as well as we're here for you guys for any hot spotting tickets or emergency work in a storm situation.
What did the tree trimming study show, and why does it matter to KREMC members?
It shows that after we come through and we trim, there's less outages, as well as more reliable power, less light flickering.
Sure. So you're speaking like a 100-foot tree that's out of the right of way. We get a major storm and it falls into our lines. Could be one
Yes.
down. Yes.
Yeah, but for the most part, the trees that are within 15 to 20 foot, all those trees, if they're identified as a hazard tree, we should be taking them out, or we'll be at least trimming them so that way when the wind blows, they're not touching the lines and causing flickering.
Okay. So what should members know about tree trimming and why it's important for reliability?
There is a certain amount of trimming that we need to do on each tree for reliable power. But also when we come through, we do keep the members' needs and wishes in mind, and we try to walk the fine line between trimming enough and too much. Also, tree trimming makes it a safer environment for the linemen when they're out on a storm call.
Right. Well, thank you, Dylan. Next, we'll share an update on Kosciusko Connect.
At Kosciusko Connect, our focus this year was adding value, not just speed. In late 2025, we launched the redesigned Kosciusko Connect home app. It gives members more control over their home network and makes managing connected devices easier and more intuitive. We also continued investing in education. When new state standards introduced fiber and internet concepts without classroom resources, our teams partnered directly with local schools. By bringing our experts into the classroom, students gain hands-on learning and a real look at careers available right here in our community. That partnership is expanding in 2026, and we're excited to keep building connections that matter.
Alongside reliable service, we remain committed to supporting the community we all share. Operation Roundup allows members to round up their monthly bill by just a few cents, creating meaningful local impact. Those small contributions add up and are distributed to nonprofit organizations doing important work across Kosciusko County. Now let's meet one of the local nonprofits that benefits from Operation Roundup, KCV Cycling Club.
My name is Megan Carr, and I'm one of the board members with KCV Cycling Club. KCV Cycling is a group of volunteers that supports cycling in our community through education and events, promoting healthy and active lifestyles and living.
I have been a part of the KCV Cycling Club actively for about 14 years now. What first inspired me to get involved in KCV were just the love of cycling and having a young family, good community events.
KCV Cycling does several events throughout the year. One of our biggest one is Fat and Skinny Tire Festival that happens every May.
It was a huge success. Like always, thousands of people coming out just for the love of cycling, laughing, and in community.
We also have a program called Tracy's Trailer that I am involved with that is bicycle education to third graders. We teach bicycle safety, rules of the road, how to be safe on their bicycle.
I've seen Tracy's Trailer make a huge impact on kids' confidence and being aware of their surroundings on their bicycles.
And that is a program that has grown. In the last 2 years, we've doubled, and we're now in all 10 Warsaw schools. Operation Roundup provided us a grant for our Tracy's Trailer program. We provide a free helmet to every third grader in our program at $10 a helmet. That adds up quickly, so any funds received, biggest expense of that program is the helmets that the kids receive.
It's just so neat to see kids be able to be confident and have that. That was a huge part of my life growing up, and it's neat to see kids being encouraged to get out and enjoy nature.
Challenges with any probably nonprofit community organization would be obviously raising funds. We have a big project that we're starting, the Winona Lake Bike Park, that we purchased land for and raised money. And now we're in the next phase of actually getting ready to start construction. So that's definitely been a challenge and a great project. Looking forward to bringing that bike park to our community. We have lots of ways to get involved with KCV Cycling. Obviously, volunteering is a big one. We can volunteer with Tracy's Trailer. You can volunteer to work on the trails.
There are so many ways to give back. If you look at kcvcycling.org, there's all kinds of ways that you can share your talents and resources to help better the community.
So yeah, the best way is to come out and help us.
That's what KCV is about, is bringing people together to experience the joy and love of cycling.
Another way we invest in our community is through safety education. Our Liveline demonstration teaches students how to stay safe around electricity while introducing them to careers in the electric industry. Last year, our team brought this program to local schools and community events throughout the county. Today, we're joined by a teacher and student who experienced the demonstration firsthand. So I guess first, what made you guys want to bring your students to the program as a teacher?
Well, one of our standards in 4th grade is teaching energy. And so one of the energies that we learn about is electrical energy. And so our STEM coach, Derek Pike, got in touch with REMC, came back and said, hey, they have this great program. Would you guys be interested? And we said, yeah, sure.
Great. So what do both of you remember most about the demonstration? We'll let you go first this time.
Probably about like showing the tree catch on fire and like having the squirrel like fly because it got like zapped on the power line.
Yep.
So yeah.
And go ahead.
Yes, those two things were the big talks when we got back to class. That was the one thing that really stuck with them, is when things touch power lines, what could happen?
Yeah, bad things happen. So what safety lesson stood out to you guys the most?
probably not to touch power lines without someone there.
Yeah, never touch power lines. And you?
Yes, after storm damage, don't go outside looking around. A lot of us like to go out and see the damage, but it's important for students to remember that it's better for them to stay
I'm
inside.
glad you guys retain that information because it is vitally important to stay away from those power lines. So why do you think hands-on demonstrations like this are so important for kids?
Because it definitely sticks with them. You can talk to them and it kind of goes in one ear, out the other, but when they can visually see it and it's hands-on, that's what they remember.
Great. Do you find any of the careers that were presented at the end of the demonstration helpful, that maybe you'd like to do one of those careers?
Yeah, I feel like it would help people because people get to see how much fun it is, and then they probably want to do it.
And did any of the students say they wanted to do one of the careers that were?
Yeah, I had a few that said that they thought they would like to be a linesman someday. They thought it was interesting to how to go out and find where the transformer blew or where the line's down and what happens after a storm.
Yeah, problem solving.
Yes, problem solving.
Yeah. So would you two recommend this presentation to any other students or any other classrooms?
Absolutely.
I would recommend it.
All right, well, that's all we have. Thank you guys for coming in and sharing your story with us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Each year, we also support students through the John H. Anglin and 4-H scholarships. We're proud to recognize the 2026 scholarship recipients. And the winner of the John H. Anglin scholarships are Anna Arter, Briley Chastain, Casey Gordon, Hannah Likens, Cooper Garden, Oliver Nyson, Jillian Glaze, Mackenzie Nelson, Emerson Cruel, Elise Allen. And the winners of the 4-H scholarship are Trevor Roberts, Matthew Engel, Lindsay Peterson, Luciana Petre, Harvey Michael, Theodore Petre, Lucas Rhodes, Isaac Petre, Gretchen Robinson, Ashley Wake. These students represent the future of our community, and we're honored to support their journey.
Each year, members are notified of the annual meeting and approval of the prior year's minutes. The 2025 annual meeting minutes were approved on June 12, 2025. Both the approved minutes and the proof of notice for this year's mailing are available on our website at kremc.com. KREMC maintained strong financial health in 2025. Revenue remained steady, and we continue to rank among the best REMCs for keeping controllable expenses low. This disciplined approach supports long-term stability and allows us to continue investing in system reliability. In 2025, KREMC invested $7.8 million in our electric system, including $2 million in fiber infrastructure. Our equity ratio at the end of the year was 53%, and we continue working toward our long-term goal of 60%. Because we are member-owned, margins are returned to members through system improvements and capital credits. In 2025, KREMC returned $1.1 million in capital credits to our members. The full 2025 financial report is available in the June issue of Indiana Connection and on our website.
Each year, members help guide a cooperative by voting in the Board of Directors election. This year, the following candidates are running for the Board of Directors. Incumbent John Hand is running against David Ferguson. Incumbent Pam Messmore is running against Nicholas King. And incumbent Loretta Schaefer is running against Ron Gerber. Before we wrap up, I want to share details about this year's drive-through annual meeting. It will be held on Thursday, June 11th from 3 to 6 p.m. right here at KREMC. Members will receive a $10 bill credit, a gift, and a meal for attending. New this year, members may vote online May 26th through June 9th. If you have already voted online, you are still welcome to come to the event. You just will not be able to vote a second time. You were recently mailed a ballot. If you forget it the day of the meeting, we will have extras ready for you when you arrive. Thank you for joining us for the 2026 Annual Meeting broadcast. If you spot the light bulb icon throughout the video, follow the link in the comments to complete the quiz and enter to win. We appreciate your membership and your engagement. We look forward to seeing you at the drive-through meeting. Here's to another great year serving you.